on Monday, we were looking at our graphs, okay? And we looked at what is a bar graph, what is a double bar graph, and what is a histogram. We made some notes on that. We took some screenshots. We saw what that looked like, and then we got into our questions. And we looked at Tando, who was planting a vegetable garden. She had a front row, a middle row, and a back garden. And we looked at all the different ways that she could plant her garden. Then we looked at finding the mode, the median, and the mean, and the range of the plants in the front row. We calculated the mode. We said mode was the most popular. M-O-M-O. M-O-M-O. Okay? Mode, most popular. Mode, most popular. We looked at the median. Median means the middle. And then we looked at the mean, and I gave you guys that story about when you get the average for a test, it's actually really mean because you might have studied really hard and then you would have got a better mark. So mean means the average. And finally, when we look at the range, how do we get the range? We take the highest number, we subtract the lowest number, and that gives us the range. Okay, so those were the questions that we went through on Monday night. Let's carry on from there. Okay. We did that question on Monday. We looked at the mode, median, and range, okay, of the plants that were in the front row. I want you guys now, all right, as a little refresher for us, to go find the mode, median, and the range of the plants in the middle row. The mode, the median, and the range for the plants in the middle row. And it might be a good idea for me to go and to put the actual numbers there for you, which I'm going to go and do. So let's go grab the numbers for the middle row quickly. Okay. All right. So in the middle row, I've got 25, 21, 32. So I'm going to write them here in the middle of the screen for you. So I've got 25, 21, 32, 21, 32, then it was 18, 12, and 21. 12 and 20, 21. Right, guys. Nice little starter off a question. Okay, nice little starter off a question to get you into things here. All right, you've got your pen, you've got your paper. You're going to go find those 4 different things for us. You're going to go find the mode, the median, the mean, and the range. All right, we are starting it off. Okay, go and have a look. All right. Oh, Kyle, I was here. Kyle, where were you? Kyle said it's been like a year since he saw me last. I was here Monday, I promise. Okay. All right, go try this out, guys. Remember our steps. Remember step 1. What do you need to do first? Remember then what you do next. Okay, go try that out for Mr. Hugo and I. All right, if anyone needs some help, Mr. Hugo is in the chat as well. So don't forget to look for his name. Okay, if you're not sure of how to do something, go look for his name and go ask him for some help if you need it. Right. You already have hands up tonight? My goodness, well done. Oh, Kyle, you weren't here on Monday. You'll have to go back and watch our video from Monday so that you also caught up, hey? Okay, I'm giving you 1 more minute. 1 more minute here. Oh dear, my screen's going upside down on my side. I don't know if that went upside down on your side.
Screen is still all good on this side, Teacher
Oh,
Kirsty.
thank you, Mr. Hugo. All of a sudden, it just went upside down. I think because it's a Wednesday, Mr. Hugo.
Oh goodness, it's confused. Maybe it's sad because it's coming to the end of
Maybe.
classes.
You're right, Mr. Hugo, maybe.
I just see while we're waiting for the time to finish, there's a question in the chat about the mean. So the mean, guys, like Teacher Kirsty said, is the average. It's basically the same as the average, because if you write a test and they give you the average, but you studied hard and you would actually have gotten better than the average, that would be mean. Okay, that's the example Teacher Kirsty used. So let's remember that the mean is the same as the average.
Okay. It's feeling that exam pressure. I love it. All right. Mulalo, you had your hand up first. Let's see if your sound's working tonight. Hi, Mulalo. Mulalo, we can't hear you still. No. I was really looking forward to hearing from you. See again, try once more. Oh, no, Mulalo, we can't hear you. Tell us in the chat. Tell us in the chat, Mulalo. Mulalo was first. She had her hand up. She was ready to go. Okay, let's go to Lubanzi. Hi, Lubanzi.
Hello, ma'am.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you, ma'am?
I'm good. Right, Lubanzi. What's step one? What do I need to do first?
Ma'am, we go to the mode, which is the most number repeated,
Okay.
which was
and
21.
Okay, cool. So you went and you did your mode first because you could see that. So you did 21. Okay. Now, Lubanzi, I just want to just highlight something quickly. Okay, so I'm happy that you've got 21. Cool. Well done. Thanks, Lubanzi.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I'm happy that Lubanzi got 21 as his mode. I'm really happy because he is right. 21 is the mode, but there's one step that I wanted him to do before that one. Let's see, maybe Mulalo's sound is working. Let's try once more. Hi, Mulalo. Mulalo, do you want to try and see if it's working? It's so weird because it almost sounds like I can hear like your background. Okay, I'm sorry, Mulalo, it's not working. All right, so guys, there's one step that I wanted to do before we went and we got the mode. And that one step that you always need to do and not miss out on is what? Who's going to tell me? Who's going to tell me what the one step I must always do and not miss out on? The first thing I must do. Zawande is praying to me. Zawande, what is it? What do I need to do?
Miss, you first arrange the numbers in order from smallest to biggest.
Fantastic. Do it for me. What's the smallest to biggest?
18. I got 12.
12. Good. Then?
18.
Good. Then?
21.
Good.
21.
Good.
25.
Good.
And 32.
You're a rock star. Thank you. I think this is the second time you've put numbers in order for me, Zoande, so well done. All right. Sorry, Zoande is absolutely right. You must put the numbers in order, guys. That makes it much clearer so you can see, okay, where the mode is. All right, so there we go. We got the mode. It was 21. Now we've put the numbers in order, so we've done a little bit of backwards, but that's okay. All right, Lungawa. Hi, Lungawa.
Hi, ma'am.
Lungawa, tell me, what's the median? What does median mean, first of all?
You must take the biggest number and divide it with the least number.
Oh, okay. So close, so close. Median, median, middle, median, middle.
Oh, the middle number.
Median. Good, right. Median, middle. So, lots of different ways to do this, hey? I'm going to go grab my magic pen. Stay with me. I'm grabbing my magic pen. All right. I'm crossing that one off and that one off. That one off and that one off. Uh-oh, I've got two numbers in the middle. What do I do?
We have to use them, ma'am.
Good, I have to use them. Fantastic. So I'm going to say 21 plus 21, and I'm going to divide it by 2, hey? And that's going to give me, oh, what a coincidence, 21 centimeters. Thanks, Lungawa.
Okay, ma'am.
All right, and I see I've got some comments here in the chat. Lubanti, I knew that you knew your chat to be ascending. I knew you knew it. You just didn't tell me so, but well done. I knew that you knew it. Well done. Okay, the next one, I need to find the mean. So let's go to Owetu. Hi, Owetu. Hi, Owetu. How are you?
And how are you?
I'm good. Owetu, how do I find mean? What do you do to get the mean?
You take all the numbers and add them, and you
Good.
divide how many numbers they are.
Ah, you rock star. So 12 plus 18 plus 21 plus 21 plus 25 plus 32. And I'm going to divide them by, there's 6 numbers altogether, hey?
Okay.
All right, and now I'm going to use my calculator quickly, and I'm going to get 21,5 centimeters. Thanks, Owetu.
Welcome, ma'am.
All right, and finally, I need the range. I need the range. So let's go to Kyle.
And you give him
Hi, Kyle.
a returning memory of God in Jesus' name. In his exams, I
Kyle.
pray that you excel tomorrow in Jesus' name.
Oh, I think we got some background noise there for Kyle. Okay, let's go to Christian. Hi, Christian.
Hi, ma'am.
How are you?
Ma'am, I'm finding you.
I'm good, thanks. How do we get the range, Christian?
Let me take the highest number and minus it with the lowest number. That would
Fantastic.
be
And what is that?
32
Yeah.
minus 12.
Well done. And that
That
gives
would be
you?
20.
That gives you 20. I nearly said 10. Thanks. 20 centimeters. Well done. Thanks, Christian.
Bye.
All right, guys. So, nice refresher. We're remembering how to do this. It's making sense, hey? Okay. So, let's go have a look at our next question. So, we're not going to do any more of these ones for now because we've done lots of practice on that. We might come back at the end if we have some time, but let's have a look at question number 4. So, question number 4 says, after each month, okay, so after each month, so now Tando's been growing these plants, all right, she's been growing them for a few months, okay, and after each month, she records the heights of the plants again. Here are the heights of plant A in the front row, a bean, over 6 months, okay. So she goes to plant A and she takes its height every single month, all right, the same plants. So plant A, in month 1 it was 30, then it was 36, then it was 45, then it was 48, then 49, then 49. So the same plant, and we're measuring its height. Okay, guys, before I even go any further, what do we know about heights? Can height have decimals to it? So like, can I be, I don't know, 1,52 meters? I can, hey? Can a plant be 30,2 centimeters? It can, hey? So when we're looking at height, is height discrete or is it continuous? Remember we spoke about discrete and continuous. Discrete as if it's a whole counting number. You can only count it as a whole, no decimals. If it's continuous, it means it can have decimals, hey? So for height, well done, Mulalo, is going to be continuous. Okay, so just have that in your mind. What kind of graph should she use to show the growth of the plants? So what kind of graph are we going to use, okay, to show the growth of the plants? What kind of graph should we use to show the growth of the plants? Okay. I've got some answers in the chat. Mulalo, I like your answer. Your answer is right in the chat. Okay, let's see here. Amishle's got their hand up. Hi, Amishle. Amishle, talk to me. What kind of graph do you think we should use?
A bar graph.
Okay, a bar graph. All right. So we could use a bar graph. I'm not saying we can't. Absolutely, we could use a bar graph. Okay. Mulalo's also saying histogram. Sishle's also saying histogram. So guys, we could use a bar graph. There's nothing wrong with a bar graph. All right. We could. What would that bar graph be measuring though? It would be measuring the same thing. Hey, it would be measuring the same plant. Okay. So the better graph to use, because we're measuring the same plant and because the data is continuous, it's going to be a histogram. All right. The reason why we used a bar graph before was because we were looking at plants, so they were the same category, but there were different kinds of plants. Okay. For this one, it's the same plant, it's just over a different time period. Give a reason for your choice. So give a reason for your choice, okay? So you could have a number of reasons for your choice here, all right? We could say that the data, we could say that the data for height is continuous. So we could say that if we want it to be really fancy. Okay, so we could say that the data for height is continuous. So that's a fancy way to say it. Okay, we could say, or all the data is for one plant. Okay, all the data is for one plant, so we can put it on a histogram. All right. Number C asks us to draw the graph. So for C, we need to go and we need to now go and draw this graph. All right, we're drawing a histogram. Okay, now the reason why earlier on I said to you that we could use a line graph as well, I'm going to show you why we can also use a line graph for this when we're finished with drawing the histogram. Okay, so we're going to start by drawing a histogram. All right, oh my goodness, where are my bars? There we go. I am going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to use one of these graph papers just because it's going to make my life so much easier. All right. If you don't have graph paper, that's okay. You can still draw a histogram without graph paper. It's not a difficult thing to do. All right. But I'm going to go and I'm going to draw mine with some graph paper just because it's going to make it a little bit easier. Okay. So if I'm looking at my graph paper, all right, on the x-axis, so that's the bottom. Okay, so on the x-axis, right? Oh dear. On the x-axis, sorry guys. I am going to go and I'm going to put my months. So this is going to be my months here on the x-axis. Months. And on the y-axis, I'm going to go have my heights in centimeters. So I've got my months and I've got my height in centimeters. All right. For my plant, I saw that my smallest height was 30 and my biggest height was 49. I think I'm going to go up in fives on the side. So I'm going to go, so that's going to be 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So I'm going up in fives. Okay. You can grow up in whatever you want, guys. Whatever you want to grow up in, you can grow up in whatever you want. Right. I need to have 6 months on the bottom. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use each 2. I'm going to go up. So this is going to be month 1, month 2, month 3, month 4, month 5, and month 6. I might go up in 3s just to make it a little bit nicer. Let's go see. Let's see if we can make it look even nicer. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Okay. Ma'am, can we do it as intervals? Absolutely, you can do it as intervals. Absolutely, no problem. And it's your choice what you want to make those intervals. Okay, you choose what you want to make the intervals. All right. Okay, guys. All right, so I'm looking at my graph. For my graph, okay, the first measurement that I have is my first plant grew to 30 centimeters. So I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to go for my graph 1. The first one went to 30. So up to 30 I go. I'm going to draw my line across and I'm going to draw my line going down. All right, now remember, this is a histogram, okay? Bar graph has spaces between. Histogram, no spaces. How did we tell, okay, that it has no spaces? Because the word histogram doesn't have spaces in it. Remember, we spoke about this. Bar graph, 2 separate words, has a space in between. Histogram, 1 word. Histogram, 1 word, no spaces. Okay, so in month 2, my plants grew to 36. So I'd say 36 is about over there. Okay. So I'm going to go. Right, I'm going to join that up, and join that up to the bottom. Right. Month 3 grew to 45. Thank you so much for those people helping me in the chat. Month 3 grew to 45. So 45, there we go. 1, 2, 3, going across for my graph. Moving down. Moving down. Okay, histogram. No spaces in the word histogram. No spaces on a histogram graph. Right, if that's one thing you take to high school, take that with you to high school so you can tell your teacher one day. Okay, when your teacher says, how do you tell whether a bar graph has a space and histogram doesn't, you can put your hand up and say, I know bar graph has a space in between. Histogram, no spaces in the word. Okay. Right. Month 4, 49. Oh, sorry, I'm forgetting 48. Right. Month 4, 48. Apologies. Month 4, 48. So I'd say 48 is like maybe there-ish. Right. So month 4, 48. And finally, month 5 is 49. So it's not quite on the line. Oh, dear. Not quite on the line, but there it is. All right. And the last one that we've got is month 6, not quite on the line again. And going down there. All right. Ah, Lubanzi, I'm so glad you already used that in class. Well done. Okay, what can you do then? Well, if you want to, and if your teacher lets you, and you have time at the end of your exam, you can go, you can take a highlighter or a colored pencil. All right, and you can go and you can make sure that your graph looks really nice as well. Okay, nice and neat. Maybe don't use your highlighter because you're wasting all your ink, but maybe a nice colored pencil would look nice. Okay. All right, so while I'm waiting for you guys to catch up to me, I'm going to go color in my graph beautifully. Mr. Hugo, how's your graphs looking there on your side? Are you keeping up with us, Mr. Hugo?
I am keeping up. My graphs are looking perfect. I just don't know.
So glad.
And my lines are as straight. Teacher Kirsty is amazing at this, guys.
Telling you, I love my tools here on my computer. Guys, don't you wish that you were allowed to use this in the exam, hey? Wouldn't it be awesome, Mr. Hugo, if everybody could use this in the exam?
It would have been, but also, guys, I want to say Teacher Kirsty makes this look super easy. To use all this tech is not that easy, guys. I have tried myself, and you have all seen me in classes. I'm not as good as Teacher Kirsty, guys.
But Mr. Hugo can sing, guys, and that's what counts, hey? He's got that beautiful singing voice. Am I right?
I guess you win some, you lose some in life, eh?
Okay, guys.
Guys,
All
we are
right.
having so much fun, and thank you all for participating and also drawing. I want to remind you all, if possible at all, switch on your cameras, guys. It was the best. I don't know if Teacher Kirsty had the same feeling, but it was the best just now to ask Mulalo, not Mulalo, Lungalwa a question and see her light up, and she was smiling and she was so happy to answer, guys. It's always the best to have your cameras on. So if you can, guys, we really enjoy it to see you as a family member of Watobe.
All right, guys. Oh, look at all the cameras come on. Oh, it's so nice to see you all. Okay, guys. So our last question. So maybe get a screenshot of that. If you haven't managed to take the whole drawing down, take a nice screenshot quickly. Get a picture of it so you know what you need to do. All right. Okay, let us have a look. Oh, no. Oh, and our screen gave up again. Not only is it going upside down, but it's just switching off today. Okay, our last question while we were waiting for our screen to come back on. Okay, our last question says to us for this, what do you think is going to happen in month 7 and month 8? What do you think will happen in month 7 and month 8? What do you think is going to happen? Shakina. Hi, Shakina. Shakina.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi. Shakina, tell me, what do you think is going to happen to this plant in month 7 and month 8?
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Oh, it keeps logging out, Shakina. Try again.
Oh, ma'am, I wanted to ask a question, ma'am.
Okay, sure. What's your question, my love?
Sorry, ma'am.
Oh,
Can
no, Shakina.
you hear me?
Oh, Shakina, it keeps logging out. Do you want to maybe put your question inside the chat and Mr. Hugo and I can try and answer it there? Okay, I'm really sorry, Shakina. Your sound keeps cutting in and out. All right, let's go to Lubanzi. Lubanzi, what do you think is going to happen to this plant in month 7? Lubanzi had their hand up here. Lubanzi, you got to unmute yourself. Hi.
Sorry, ma'am.
That's okay. What do you think is going to happen to the plant? Hello, what's going to happen?
Ma'am, I think it's gonna keep growing, ma'am.
Do you think it's going to keep growing? That's a possibility. It could keep growing. You're right. Okay. But it hasn't grown for and lots of people have told me in the chat as well. They all say to me, ma'am, it's going to keep growing. But Lubanzi, stay with me. If the plant hasn't grown for 2 months, do you think it's going to carry on growing if it hasn't grown for 2 months?
Maybe not, ma'am.
Maybe not. Maybe actually, because also it's a bean plant, eh? So think about if it's a bean plant, do you think it's going to grow anymore? Think about a bean plant, how big a bean plant is. Probably not, hey? Okay,
Yes,
so I
ma'am.
think maybe the plant might be finished growing, hey? Do you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Thanks, Lubanzi. Thank you for being brave and for answering. Okay, so because guys, it's a bean plant, all right? If you've seen a bean plant before, or you've gone and you've grown a bean plant for yourself. If you haven't grown a bean plant before, guys, go do it. It's actually quite a lot of fun, all right? Then the bean plant is probably finished growing by this time, all right? So Shakina's asking, ma'am, I wanted to ask what they mean when they say a histogram has continuous data. So Shakina, what that means, continuous data means that the data has decimals or can be measured in fractions. So when you have continuous data, your data is information like 14,7, 15, 15,2, 16. So it's data like height. Height can have decimals. Data like what else can have decimals in it? So weight can have decimals. Those time can have decimals. All right. What kind of things can't have decimals though? So if you're measuring the number of cars on the road, that is not continuous data because you only see 1 car, 2 cars, 3 cars, 4 cars. All right. Those aren't continuous data. Mulalo is right. We have in 4th and 7th grade. Perfect. So if you're counting the number of people in the 7th grade, 1 person, 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, 5 people. People can't be fractions and like parts of people. Okay. All right. Let us have a look at our next worksheets. So well done, guys. We got to the end of that worksheet. Let us carry on. Okay. Next thing we're going to look at pie charts. So we've looked at circles in the past. Okay, we've looked at circles in the past. We've done a bit on circles before. Let's have a look at some pie charts now. Okay. You may use a calculator. Oh, they're so kind. The following pie chart shows the percentage of each type of plant now in Tando's garden. So we're back to Tando. She's growing plants in her garden again. And we're looking at the percentage of each type of plant in Tando's garden. Okay. So if we're looking at the graph, here is Tando's pie chart, okay? And it's showing percentages. So have a look at this graph. She's growing grass, beans, tomatoes, and spinach. Right. Which plant makes up the largest percentage of the garden, the major sector? So which plant is going to make up the largest percentage, okay, of the garden? Okay, which plant makes up the largest percentage of the garden? All right. So let's go here. Let us drop all your hands. All right. Who's telling us the answer for this one? What plant makes up the largest percentage of the garden? Lots of people telling me in the chat. Ntabi Singh. Hi, Ntabi Singh.
Hi, ma'am.
Okay, talk to me. Which plant is making up the largest percentage of the garden?
Grass.
Well done. Oh, I like how you said that. Say it again for me. Say it again. I can't roll my R. It was beautiful. Say it again.
Grass.
No, you didn't say it that way the first time. Okay, fine. Grass. Well done, Ntabi Singh. You are right. Ntabi Singh, am I right that every garden is made up of grass mainly? Hey, am I right?
Yes, you're right, ma'am.
Okay, well done.
Teacher
Thank you so
Kirsty,
much. Yes, Mr.
it's
Hugo.
not made out of grass. It's
What
made
is
out
it
of
made of?
grass.
Thank you, Mr. Hugo. I
Yeah.
can't roll my R's. I love it. It's so unfair. All right. Thanks, Ntabi Singh. Okay. Thanks, Mr. Hugo. All right. Which plant makes up the smallest percentage of the garden? It's the one that most of you don't like to eat as well. Let's go to Lejo. Hi, Lejo.
Hi, ma'am. Hi, ma'am.
I'm good, thanks. Lejo, talk to me. Which one makes up the smallest percentage of the garden?
Oh, ma'am, spinach.
Spinach. Well done. Do you like spinach?
ma'am. Not really, ma'am.
Not really. I don't think most people like spinach. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
thanks, Lejo.
Yes, ma'am. Welcome.
All right. So let's have a look at the next one. Ooh. What fraction of the garden does each plant make up? So I'm going to help you out here, guys, because we're running out of time. It's so sad. I hate it when we run out of time. So let's go have a look. So which fraction of the garden does each plant make up? So some of you have been telling me in the chat, well done. All right, let's see. So we've got grass, and I'd say that grass makes up half, because we're using fractions, hey? So grass makes up half of the circle. Then we've got beans. I'm going to put them inside the circle, actually, because that makes more sense. So grass is making up half. Beans are definitely making up a quarter, I would say. Okay. Then I'm going to go look here at this one here. If I go look at this part, I would say that spinach is probably making up, I'd say a fifth. And I'd say that tomatoes are making up 4/5. Okay. Right. Okay. Let's move on. Right. What percentage of the garden? What percentage of the garden? Okay, what percentage of the garden does each plant make up? What percentage of the garden does each plant make up? What percentage? Oh, wait, guys, I made a mistake. Let's go back here quickly. Apologies. Let's look at tomatoes quickly. So tomatoes can't be 4/5 because that's 4/5 of the circle. That doesn't make sense. Mr. Hugo, you are right. 4/5 would make a whole. Mr. Hugo is right as well. Okay, so it's going to be 4/5 of a quarter. So this here is a quarter that it's sitting in, and we're going to look at making it 4/5 of a quarter. Okay, so tomatoes are making up 4/5 of the quarter, hey? Okay, let's carry on. So 4/5 of the quarter, what does of mean? Of means you must times. So let's put a times in there, guys. And when we do that, that gives us 4/20. That makes a bit more sense. Apologies. 4/20. And the same thing with spinach. It's 1/5 of a quarter. And 1/5 times by a quarter gives you 1/20. That makes much more sense. My goodness. 1/20. All right. Now we need to see what percentage of the garden does each one make up? What percentage does each one make up? Well, guys, I'm looking at half of 100%. So the whole circle is 100%. Okay, the whole circle is 100%. So if I'm looking at a half, all right, of 100%, how much am I going to get for grass? Who's going to tell me? Half of 100%. What's that going to be? A half of 100%. The half of 100%. Well done, Sishle. It's 50%. So grass is making up 50% of the circle. If we're looking at beans, beans are making up a quarter of the circle. Beans are making up a quarter of the circle. So a quarter of 100%, a quarter of 100% is going to be 25%. How did I do that? I said 100 divided by 4, a quarter of. All right. Let's look at tomatoes. All right. For tomatoes, oh, this one we might have to go and work this out. We might have to go work this one out, okay? For tomatoes, we're looking at doing 100 times by 4 over 20. So we're practicing our fractions here a little bit, guys. 100 times by 4 over 20. 100 times by 4 over 20. 100 times by 4 over 20. What do we get? What do you get when you do that? Well, instead of saying 4 over 20, can we maybe simplify 4 over 20? And can we say that it could be 1 over 5? Because 4 goes into 4 once and it goes into 20 5 times. And 1/5 of 100 gives me 20%. So finally, if I'm left with spinach, 100 times 1 over 20 is going to give me 5%. Okay. If you aren't sure about timesing fractions, guys, if timesing fractions is confusing you and you're like, oh my gosh, what did ma'am just do? I don't remember how to do this. The lesson is on YouTube. You can go back to YouTube. You can go back to fractions from the beginning of the year all the way to the first term, and you can go watch how to do that. Okay, so make sure that you remember how to times your fractions. All right, really important for your maths exam. All right. Which two types of plants together make up 75% of the plants in the garden? Which two types of plants together, so when you add them together, which two types of plants together make up 75% of plants in the garden? Who can tell us? Which two types of plants, so when you add the two types of plants together, which two types? Hi, Itandile. Itandile, tell me, which two types of plants, when you add them together, make up 75%?
It's bean and grass because 50 plus 25 is 75%.
You're amazing. Beans plus grass. Beans and grass. Well done.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much, Itandile.
Pleasure, ma'am.
All right. Let's keep on going, guys. Okay. If there are 300 plants, now this is a tricky one, so I'm going to give you a few minutes just to go and have a think about it. Okay, it's a bit of a brain teaser here. If there are 300 plants in the garden, how many of each plant are there? So altogether, there's 300 plants in the garden. Okay, altogether, you walk around, you count 300 altogether. Okay, so if there's 300 plants in the garden, how many of each plant are there? I'm going to go back up to the fractions for you. Okay, so if there's 300 plants altogether, how many of each plant are there? Give it a thought. There's 300 plants in the garden. Okay. All right. If you have a question, don't stress. I'm going to answer your questions at the end. So I am leaving time. This is the last one we're going to do, and then I'm going to take all your questions, I promise. Okay, 300 plants in the garden. All right. So let's go help you out here. Okay. If there's 300 plants all together in the garden, okay, if there's 300 plants all together in the garden, and 50% of it is grass, okay, so 300 plants in the garden, all right, and 50% of the plants is grass, then we're going to go say, I'm going to go add a piece of paper in here for us. So we got 300 times by a half, or we could say times by 50%, gives us 150 grass. All right. Let's go work out, let's lay this out a bit nicer so you can see it a bit better. So we've got grass, and we said 300 times by a half gives me 150. Let's go do beans. If there's 300 plants all together in the garden and a quarter of it is beans, then 300 times by a quarter gives me what, guys? What's 300 times a quarter? What's 300 times a quarter? 300 times a quarter. Well done, Kemo, well done. Well done, Lubanzi, well done. Well done, Tibiseng. Good, guys. 75. All right, let's do tomatoes. All right. 300 plants in the garden. Okay. We said just now, instead of saying 4/20, we can say 1/5. All right. So 300 times by 1/5, what does that give us? What's 300 times by 1/5? What's the same thing as saying 1/5? Timesing something by 1/5. Isn't it the same thing as dividing by 5? So 300 divided by 5 gives me, well done. Yo, there's some people on fire tonight. Well done, guys. Hema, well done. Anishle, well done. Christian, well done. 60. Well done. Lungawa, well done. Tandile, well done. Okay, Paris, well done. Well done to those people whose names I didn't see there. Okay. And finally, spinach. So now, guys, you have some options. You can either go say 300 times by 1/20 equals, and that gives you 15. Or you could have said 300 minus 150 minus 75 minus 60, and that would have given you 15 as well. Either one, absolutely perfect. Okay, I am leaving some time for those people who want to stay and ask some questions. Mr. Hugo he's already done it, guys. He's so quick. Mr. Hugo has put the quiz for you in the chat. So if you are all good and you're ready to go and answer the quiz, you guys can go and do that. Otherwise, thank you so much, guys. We will see you next week for our very last week of lessons. Please make sure you come and join us next week. If you're not joining us, bye, grade 7s. We will miss you, but we really hope that we see you next week. Good luck for your exams. If we don't see you next week, we really, really hope that you do well. Mr. Hugo and I are wishing you all the luck. Remember, stay healthy, get lots of sleep, do your practice, all right? And good luck, guys. Okay.
Teacher Christy, I just want to say, I'm not saying goodbye to anyone yet, guys. I really hope and wish to see you all next week. I will be saying my goodbyes then, because I'm going to miss you all. So I hope that we can see you last week again, still next week for last time.
That's a good idea, Mr. Hugo. Okay, Mr. Hugo is going to say goodbye to you next week, so I'll let him say goodbye next week. All right, let's answer some questions, Mr. Hugo. Let's go with Brianna. Hi, Brianna. Brianna, we can't hear you. Brianna, do you want to put your question for us in the chat? For some reason, we can't hear you. I'm so sorry. All right, Kumo. Hi, Kumo. Hi, Kumo.
Hello, ma'am.
How are you?
Hello, ma'am.
Good. What's up?
Please go back to the page.
To the last page, sure. Okay, cool. All right, so this one, Kumo.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, cool. Do you want me to do that so you can see nicely? Okay, cool. No question. Hey, you just want to take it down?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, cool. All right. Lungawa. Hi, Lungawa. I feel like I haven't heard from you all night.
Hi, ma'am.
What's up, my love?
Ma'am, even if you are registered, can you still go to the Watobe lessons like next year for grade 8?
What do you mean if you're not registered? Say it again for me. Even if you?
Like even if you are registered, can you go to Watobe lessons for next year?
I'm not sure what you're asking. Mr. Hugo?
Teacher Kirsty, I think she's asking whether she'll have to re-register again for next year. So you won't have to the whole registration progress again, but just make sure your payment is up to date, and then you will automatically be ready for next year.
Does that make sense? Was that what you were
Okay,
asking?
sir. Yeah, ma'am.
Thanks, Lungawa.
Yes, ma'am.
Cool. All right.
Okay, ma'am. Bye.
Thanks. Bye. Okay, I'm gonna do one more question. Let's go with Jada. Oh, no. Sorry, Jada. Okay, I'll do 2 more questions. Kungawa? Hi, Kungawa.
Hi, ma'am.
What's up, my love?
Ma'am, when we're doing data handling, ma'am, if you put the numbers in smallest to biggest, what if you don't do it, ma'am? Will you get the answer wrong?
So you won't get the answer wrong, but it'll just be so much harder to do because when you put it from smallest to biggest, it just makes it so much clearer which one's the mode, first of all, because you can see the numbers. And then the answer that you might not get right, probably definitely work, is the median. Because to get the median, it has to be from smallest to biggest. Do you know what I
Okay,
mean?
thank you, ma'am.